I kind of want to go abroad. So I attended this meeting at my school back home. My school had a partnership with Augustana, and US sounds cool. I'm on my way. With the fires, blizzards, and storms and stuff, just to get those boneless wings and some ranch dressing. Oh, I used to love that. We've got 1,500 kilometers to go. So if we just stay within the speed limits, we should be fine. I could hear him saying, "What the is that car so close behind me?" Oh shit!
Comes on the lights. This could be bad. What if they impound the vehicle? What if we have to catch an Uber or a taxi?
One of my teachers was a coach on the track team. Hey, is there any chance I can try out for the track team? Yeah, come down for a practice and try it out. I was used to like competing with 8 or 10 people. Some of them, there were like 20, 30, 40 people competing in shotput. Oh, the snowboarding in Montana was so much fun. You had this big mountain, lots of powder snow. I was still not very good at snowboarding, so I'd fall so much. I was in so much pain. The classes, they were there, but things I remember are hanging out with my new friends and yeah, going on trips and stuff.
Welcome back to college. I'm your host, Zach Stevenson, and today in the classroom we're continuing on with another in-person guest. This person's sense of adventure was what drove him to study abroad and land himself in the US. Starting in the fall of 2019, this person was nothing but excited to start the next year-long chapter of his life at Augustana. If this person wasn't busy in the Elmen taking PE classes for his education major, he'd be staying active either upstairs in the weight room, outside playing soccer, or with the track and field team training his shot put. Las Vegas, Chicago, Detroit, Bozeman were just some of the stops along the way on this person's college journey. Using his degree to become a teacher for 3 years in Norway, this person was again seeking a new adventure. He packed his life up into a suitcase and started afresh in Australia, where he's currently working alongside my brother Max in sales. Please enjoy the conversation with Stig. Stig over Selnes, welcome back to college.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
We're doing another in-person interview today, and well, how the hell are we together? Because you're from Norway.
Yeah, good question. About 3 months ago, I decided to pack my bags and move on down to Sydney.
So you're living, this is Max's apartment too, you and Max, my brother, living together.
Yeah.
And so I'm up in Sydney for the week or so, and I thought it'd be a great chance to actually do another in-person back to college episode. So here we are.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. I was talking to Max earlier this year on FaceTime. We're just sort of having a little catch up, and he kind of jokingly asked, "Let's say you wouldn't want to come and work in Sydney, would you?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to come work in Sydney." And he was like, "Oh shit, really? All right, I'll ask my boss if we might be able to do something." Yeah, I think the next day or something, I got an email from our boss and say, "Hey, wanna have a talk someday about an opportunity down there in Sydney?" I was like, "Yeah, sounds awesome." And yeah, a few months later, I packed my bags and moved on down.
Yeah, it's crazy, and we've spent a bit of time over the last couple of months. We've been snowboarding,
Yeah,
doing some cool stuff, but I think we'll get back to that. I think it's just sort of good to set the scene where we are right now. But do you want to take me back to where you first heard about Augustana?
yeah. So I was studying to be a teacher back home in Norway, and I was living with studying and living with all my friends from back home, and they started college in Norway a couple of years before me, so they were all sort of finishing up, and I still had two more years to go. So I was thinking, I don't want to be stuck here alone without all my friends. So yeah, I kind of want to go abroad somewhere. So I attended this meeting at my school back home to see what options I had. And yeah, I heard that my school had a partnership with Augustana. And fuck yeah, US sounds cool.
Yeah,
I'm on my way.
that's terrific.
Yeah.
And because Augustana does have a bit of a sister relationship with a lot of schools in Norway.
Yeah.
We have, Augustana has a big nursing program, so often a lot of nurses come over and do at least one semester or so at Augustana. But you're an education major.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was studying to be a teacher back home in Norway. So when I decided to go to Augie, obviously I had to continue my education road. So I just picked a bunch of classes that were relevant for education. So for the fall semester, the first semester I was there, I just picked a bunch of PE classes. It was a lot of fun because I got to have classes where we just trained, worked out, like had a walking and hiking class where you just took walks, as well as a couple of like PE specific classes where we learned how to be PE teachers basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always saw you in the Elmen Center
Yeah.
doing some sort of physical activity, but then it was a bonus because it was part of your class and part of your course to get that education major to become a teacher.
Yeah.
So, what was it like for you, Stig, that day that you left from Norway to Augustana or to the US? How were you feeling?
Honestly, I think I was mostly excited. I didn't feel really nervous about moving abroad or anything. I was just excited to start this adventure and meet new people, trying something completely different. So I was just excited and ready to get going.
And so, what was it like when you actually arrived on US territory? Did anything crazy happen?
The first day I arrived, I was exhausted, like from a long trip. And I was excited to meet my roommate because I knew he was Norwegian, and I knew that he was Norwegian before I met him because I looked like we got to know before we got there.
Who's your roommate?
Dion.
Dion.
Yeah, legend.
Amazing.
Dion.
Shout out to Dion. Yeah, so and then I guess you guys must have been okay once you kind of, because obviously coming from the same country, it might have been a bit of an easier transition then for you guys to be roommates and just sort of have at least each other to begin with to lean on.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I first saw, I'm having a Norwegian roommate. That kind of sucks. But then I met him, got to know him and the other Norwegians as well. And they've been some of my best friends ever since. So that's the best thing that could happen, being roommates with Stian and becoming friends with the other Norwegians.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think you came to Augustana my senior year, so it would have been, 2019? It would have been in the fall.
Yeah.
And I was actually an ACE ambassador, which meant that I would help out. I was kind of like a leader for one of many leaders for the new international students coming in. And so was my brother Max, and I think that's sort of how we connected. I think is sort of when we started that international orientation, and we went on the Black Hills trip.
Yeah, definitely. That was such a good program for all the international students to get together and just go on this trip together to the Black Hills. Makes it easier for everyone to get to know each other and just hang out and become friends basically.
What do you remember from that trip that stood out to you?
Honestly, not. I remember having a lot of fun, especially when we went down on that mountain, Black Elk Peak or something.
Yeah.
That was a fun hike, going to the top of that mountain. And
I think, did you guys must have broke the record for the international students going up there, because it's, I don't know how far the hike is, but it takes, at least an hour and a half, I think, to get up. But you guys were just running up the whole trail, which I think, because I'd gone 3 years previous to that when I was a new student, and we just took our time to hike up, but you guys just bolted up the top.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were quite competitive. And obviously we've all hiked in mountains a lot before from back home in Norway. And we just wanted to see how fast we can get up there.
I remember being quite intimidated by you, the three Norwegians, you, Stian, and Michael, because you're all these really big, ripped dudes who are clearly in amazing physical shape. And I remember Stian was doing some handstands at the Badlands. So, I don't know, it just seemed like you guys were really intimidating, maybe even a little bit cocky, because we're the Norwegians in town, we're the big guys. Which is really funny, because once we started to get to know each other, I found that the three of you guys were some of my best friends that that semester, at least, at Augie.
We might be like big guys, but deep down I think we're just nice guys too.
Clearly.
It's funny that you think that we look like kind of big and scary and stuff, but hopefully you changed your mind about that.
Yeah, well,
fairly quick.
And it is funny looking back at it now, because I was seriously like, oh, who are these cocky dudes who were just super fit. I was probably a bit jealous, I think, because I'd fallen out of my basketball fitness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny. But yeah, we got to know each other pretty well during that trip. Were there any other standout points from that trip for you?
Oh yeah, the when we went to the Crazy Horse Memorial, so they were carving out this big um sculpture of famous Native American in the mountain, like a huge project.
Which I think his face is the size of Mount Rushmore, but they're going to carve out his whole body with him pointing on the horse as well.
Yeah, it looked freaking amazing.
But they've only done his face so far.
Yeah, they're only about halfway done, maybe not even that. But yeah, they had this cool like laser show and everything, and they were holding a presentation on how Native Americans were robbed of that country and stuff, of their land and stuff. And at the very end of the presentation, they played this super patriotic American song, like "I'm proud to be an American," and it just felt so out of place. Just felt so weird. Like they talked about how the Native Americans were screwed over, and then proud to be an American.
Yeah, very white sort of song, and I think that became a little bit of a meme for us international students on that trip.
Yeah, definitely.
And we were just singing, "I'm proud to be an American." Which it was kind of a bit of an odd thing to be playing, but I don't know. I guess America just does it different though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good highlight. And I remember also on that trip, I think for me, senior year, I mean, I was sort of just like enjoy it as much as possible. So I think I was a little bit more outgoing again that year. I remember singing with Stian some karaoke on the bus on the way back home, where we sung Tequila, so we had to say one word.
Yeah, but you were singing, that's a bit of a stretch, but no, everyone loved it. Like, just played the tune and jumped in and said Tequila, and everyone just went crazy on the bus.
Yeah, so stupid. But anyway, did you sing a song on the way back home?
No, I didn't.
No.
Nah, I could never sing a song in public.
Yeah, and then we also, on the way back, we visited like the missile silo where they have.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think they probably not nuclear weapons, but all their warheads are actually, I don't know if they are now, but they used to be all buried down below all across South Dakota apparently, which I thought was quite fascinating. Just hide them in the most remote part of the country.
Yeah, which was where we were studying, the most remote part. Yeah, true. I've forgotten about that. Because we went into like bunkers and stuff where
they have the huge rockets just underneath the ground.
Yeah, true.
Underneath all the corn. What do you remember about some of your first impressions about the college itself?
I remember it being, because you have all these people like hanging out on campus and stuff. Because back home, you'd go to school, do your class, then go back home. But at college in the US, most of the people live on campus, or a lot of people live on campus, and you sort of just hang out there. So you have a more lively campus where lots more is happening, and there's lots more people hanging around doing stuff. Instead of just going to class then going home again.
And you thought that was a good thing?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good place to get to meet new people, and just have a place to hang out after class or whenever. Yeah, so that was cool.
And so the classes themselves, you're saying just before that you were doing all the PE classes that first semester. You came for a year.
Yeah.
Whereas some of those other Norwegians you came with were only there for a semester because they were doing nursing.
Yeah.
So, but I guess you enjoyed the classes?
Yeah, the classes were fine. That's sort of the least last thing I remember when thinking back to being in the US. The classes they were there, but the things I remember are hanging out with my new friends and going on trips and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the thing that really stood out.
So, Giz, I think you maybe wanted a little bit more of a challenge with the classes. But I mean, they sort of served their purpose.
Yeah, and it's not like they were super easy or anything, but I just felt like I didn't put my heart and soul into them to get straight A's. Like, just wanted to pass them, and and yeah, have fun while being in the US.
Yeah. So what were some of your highlights of that year that you were at college?
Uh, so for the fall semester, I think the trip you and I and Michael and Stian and Abu went on.
Yeah.
So we went on this big road trip from started in Sioux Falls, obviously. Then we drove to Chicago, spent a couple, 2 or 3 nights there.
Yeah. Which is
Uh,
where we met up with Abu.
yeah,
'Cause
which is where we met up.
he was studying at a different college
Yeah, he was
in
in.
Ohio, was he?
Yeah,
No, somewhere else. Because I think on the way back we dropped him at Ohio, but he was flying somewhere else. Maybe can't really
yeah,
remember.
something like that.
Yeah, but he was Stian's stepbrother or something.
Foster brother.
Foster brother. Yeah.
Or brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met up with Abu, Stian's brother. And then after spending a few days in Chicago, amazing city by the way. Absolutely loved it. We packed our bags and drove to Detroit.
Mm-hmm. What do we do in Detroit?
Oh yeah, we went to the good old famous porn star shop.
Yeah, American Jewelry and Loan.
Yeah.
Which is there's a TV show about it, and I really wanted to go visit because I'd watched this TV show growing up where they have the pawn shop and they're trading all the different things with Les, Seth, and Ashley.
Yeah.
And we actually got to see them when we were there, which was crazy. It felt like we were on the TV show.
Yeah, because I'd never in my life thought that they were actually going to be there. I thought, yeah, they're like famous TV stars now, so they'll be off in Hollywood living in their mansions. But yeah, maybe not that. But yeah, that was so cool just seeing them there doing their job.
Yeah, and they actually do just work in the shop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's their job.
Very much reality TV. And
Yeah.
I tried to do a little deal with Seth with my camera. I was like, oh, how much could we get for this? Even though I didn't want to part with it because I was filming a video of our trip too.
Yeah.
So that maybe I should link that below.
Yeah, you should. Definitely.
People can check that. I think we really enjoy the video. The quality of it now maybe doesn't hold up, but I think it is definitely brings up those memories that we had.
Yeah. I've been checking it out like every now and again since moving from the US, and yeah, it just brings back so many good memories.
And then where to from Detroit? I think because we only had a week, and for some reason we wanted to drive as far as possible.
Yeah.
So from Detroit, we drove into Canada.
Yeah, into Canada and up to Toronto, and yeah, we spent one night there. Went out, had a few drinks.
Yeah, because I think we got there in the evening, we spent the night, and then we had to
Yeah.
leave, which didn't really make sense, but we didn't care. We were just doing it for the experience.
Yeah. And so yeah, we left Toronto, drove to the border, which was at Niagara Falls. So we got to see Niagara Falls while we were there.
What'd you think of that?
It was a cool experience. Wasn't like anything crazy. It's a cool fall, and like I've seen it on TV and stuff. So it's cool being there.
Probably doesn't compare to the massive mountains and fjords that you have in Norway.
Nah, we got some cool stuff back home.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'd love to go check it out.
Yeah.
But we had a little bit of trouble coming back into the US.
Yeah, there was some border trouble at the border there.
Which we don't have to go into many details, but there was a little bit of a complication with Michael, and we kind of didn't think about that we were actually leaving the US into Canada. We just sort of, jumped the border, and probably for you guys, crossing the border isn't a big deal.
No, it's like driving in one country, boom, Ireland in another.
Yeah, but the US is a little bit different. So there's some complications with that. We got dragged into the room. Poor Michael's being interrogated, and we're like, dang, is he even going to come back into the country? We might just have to leave him here.
But thankfully, they sorted it out, and he was able to get back into the country.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
But then we thought we were home free, and then I fell asleep in the passenger side. I think Michael was driving, and maybe a little bit too fast.
And suddenly I could hear him saying, "Why the fuck is that car so close behind me? Oh shit!" Cops.
Yeah, and then comes on the lights. So we got pulled over, and then there was all sorts of complications because only Stian rented the car.
Yeah.
So he was the one that was supposed to drive.
Yeah, and so the cop lady said, So you're actually not allowed to drive this car because it's in Stian's name. So yeah, you have to take this fine, switch driver, and yeah, head on. So we were standing there for like 5 minutes after the cop left, and we were talking, and like we've got 101,500 kilometers to go. Stian can't drive all that way. So if we just stay within the speed limits, we should be fine.
Yeah.
So Michael kept driving.
Which is funny because we thought after the whole thing crossing the border and then we get pulled over, we're like, shit, this could be bad. What if they impound the vehicle? What if we're not allowed to, what if we have to, I don't know, catch an Uber or a taxi?
Yeah.
I don't know, however many miles to the nearest city. And then, because we were still, I don't know, probably like 1,000 miles from bloody Sioux Falls at that
It
point.
was. Yeah, because we were still in New York, in the state of New York at that time. Yeah, so we had a long way to go.
Yeah. And then what did we do for the rest of that trip?
We drove. That's all we did.
All night, just
Yeah.
straight through. Like, I think it was like 18 hours straight or something, was it?
Yeah, it must have been.
We just switched drivers and everyone else would just sleep in the back.
And just stopped for gas and stopped for some food. And yeah, that's all we did on the way home.
We got back to Sioux Falls first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
As the sun was coming up. What there was a few other trips that we did. Did you want to talk about them?
Yeah. So another trip, which you weren't a part of, unfortunately, but me and the other Norwegians, there were like 10, 12 of us. We went to Las Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was an amazing trip. Absolutely loved Las Vegas. And yeah, because we got there and I think we were basically just sort of drinking 4 days straight, riding limousines, going to big nightclubs,
just living it up,
living the absolute life. So we rented a limousine for a night, all us Norwegians, which was a lot of fun. Just driving around, taking a picture from the Las Vegas sign, and then it dropped us off at some nightclub, I think. One thing I noticed that how expensive everything was in Las Vegas. Drinks were like 220 $20 a pop, and you needed some cash too.
A little bit different to Sioux Falls.
Yeah, where we could get like $5 Jaeger bombs, and but yeah, Las Vegas was so much fun. And me, Michael, Stian, and Magnus, the 4 boys who were on the trip, rented these small slingshot cars, which were like small convertibles, 3 wheels. Rented them for like 4 hours and just went on this amazing little road trip out to Hoover Dam. And we just felt like so free, and just stepped on it on the highway.
You guys were just gunning it.
Yeah.
So I remember I had to edit a photo. Well, I didn't have to, but you sent me a photo that like, oh, could you please edit it?
Yeah.
And you guys, I think, was it you in the photo with your
Yeah, so I was just sitting like with my hand on the window.
Yeah, you guys were just gunning it,
Yeah.
even though it looked like you were standing still, but like your hair was back and like the background was blurry and
Yeah.
just fanging it down the highway in Las Vegas.
Yeah, because we were driving side by side on the highway because there were no other cars there. We were just gunning it on our own. And yeah, so Michael were sitting there taking pictures of us.
You're going, I don't know, like 100 miles an hour, probably more.
Yeah, I think we crossed 100 miles an hour. But yeah, nothing faster.
Dang.
That's off the record.
You Norwegians are crazy.
No, I think we just know how to have a good time.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it sounds like you had an amazing experience with that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you do anything else in Vegas?
Good question.
Did you do things like a big group, like the 12 of you?
The limousine was a big group.
Yeah. That would have been so much fun.
Yeah, and we'd go out to eat together. Go out drinking at night, together. Yeah, that's basically what we did in Vegas. I don't think we caught any shows or anything. We really wanted to, but yeah.
I think you're only there for a couple of days. For fall break, it must have been.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're there for 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, such an amazing experience, though.
Yeah.
And just walking around in Las Vegas, seeing everything happening, all the fountains and just all the crazy stuff.
So speaking of food, you guys used to love going out to get some food. I think JL Beers was your favorite place to go.
Yeah, those jail bears burgers, they were amazing. So me and Michael and Stian, we used to go to the Elmen Center and lift some weights, have a workout, and afterwards we'd often call jail bears. Oh, we'll have 6 burgers, extra bacon, thank you. Then we'd catch an Uber going to jail bears, catch an Uber back, and eat them at the at the school. Oh, that was. I think we spent way too much money on burgers on jail beers when we had all the food we wanted for free at the cafeteria in the
Yeah.
commons.
So you didn't like the food at the Commons?
I love the food at the commons. I just wanted more. Needed the jail beers burgers as well.
Do you remember some of the food at the Commons?
Yeah, I remember every day, like for I think both for lunch and dinner, you'd have pizza and burgers available, and there was always 2 main courses, which were often very good. Um, and breakfast, yeah, you'd have like either French toast or pancakes every morning. Yeah, so there was just so much good food, and yeah, you sort of have to stay active, like work out, train, in order to stay not fat.
That is a big problem that I
Yeah,
think a lot of international students in particular deal with, is coming over and then having all this food available to you that's, for
yeah,
the most part, highly processed and got lots and lots of calories in it. And then inevitably you put on a little bit of weight unless you're going to do lots of exercise to burn it off.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's a trap I think many fall into. Um, yeah, I love the food there. It was so good.
What about Wingstop?
Oh, the good old Wingstop. So yeah, that's me, you, and Max. We'd go like during spring semester, during winter, like um late Friday night. Oh, let's get some wings, boys. Yeah, so we just go through snowstorms and
Because it was only a short walk,
yeah,
but it was through,
yeah,
sometimes blizzards.
yeah, with the fires, blizzards and storms and stuff, just to get those boneless wings and some ranch dressing. Oh, I used to love that. So yeah, I really miss those little trips of ours down to Wingstop.
Favorite
Uh,
flavor at Wingstop?
oh, I love the barbecue ones. I wasn't that much into spicy food back then. I've got grown more accustomed to it now, but yeah, because I remember Max just getting the spiciest stuff, and I tried one of them, and I was like, "Oh, this is awful," and he was like, And
I think objectively the best flavor at Wingstop was Louisiana rub, though. Especially dipping that thing in ranch. I think
yeah,
you couldn't beat that. And they used to do something to their wings. I don't know if we used to joke that maybe they cooked it in THC oil or something, because
yeah,
you could smell that like they'd been smoking out the back. So
yeah,
I don't know if that was their secret ingredient,
yeah, a bit of THC in the
but they were
sauce.
bloody good.
Yeah, they were so good. Yeah, that was amazing.
I do
That time.
remember, actually, I think this was probably one of my most fun days that I had at Augustana. And it happened, you were a part of this. I think because you played soccer
Yeah,
it was mainly like an international group, but there's a few Americans as well, just as like a club. And you had a game cancelled one day. I think it was on a Sunday. I was studying in the huddle, which is just a little sort of grill lounge area downstairs. And all the soccer guys had come in because like, oh, yeah, game's cancelled. What are we going to do?
yeah,
And then someone suggested, hey, instead of wasting the day, why don't we go to Thunder Road?
yeah. And we'd play mini golf and drive some go karts.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it just stood out to me because it wasn't even necessarily a group of people that I would hang out with, or even like anyone's natural group, but we're all kind of like bunch of misfits just looking for something fun to do. And we just, I think there was easily 10, 12 of us, and we were just playing mini golf and, I don't know, knocking each other's balls out of the way and stuff like that. And Thunder Road is just like it's not really a theme park, but it has a few attractions like the mini golf and the drift cars too. They were super fun.
Oh yeah, true. Oh,
Yeah,
I
because they had
completely
the
forgot.
go-karts that went on the normal track, which was fun, like you just race typically. But then they had the circle kind of track where you could just drift.
Yeah, that felt like one of the Mario Kart tracks.
Yeah.
The one that's just a circle. We were like drifting around. Oh, that was so much fun.
I think that honestly was probably one of my favorite days that I had in the US and at college.
Yeah, yeah, that was such a good day. It was all happened because a soccer game got canceled,
Yeah, just so
and
spontaneous in the moment,
yeah,
but everyone just had a great time.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that. Just yeah, let's go do something fun. It was a nice day, and yeah, didn't have anything else to do.
What about some of the parties that you went to at college?
Oh, some of the like parties at people's houses, they were just insane. Because yeah, you've seen in like American teenage movies and stuff. There's just a lot of people packed into small houses. Um, and there were even more people packed into small houses than you could see in the movies. Actually, just so tight and yeah, really cramped, and everyone was just like jumping around, dancing, having a good time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember we went out one night, but yeah, the houses are not big.
Nah,
But I think particularly the freshmen just love to, oh, we're at college now, we can just go
yeah,
wild. So we'd just go and there'd be, yeah, lots of, I don't know, younger people with like 4 years younger or so. But it didn't really matter because we're all just chucked into this room and
yeah,
like, yeah, there's just lasers and stuff going everywhere. And yeah, some of those parties were crazy.
yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. That was a lot of fun. Some of that.
Who were some of your other friends that you hung out with at Augustana?
So obviously the Norwegians like Michael, Stian, uh, Magnus, and the gang, and you and Max. Also made some friends from the football team or soccer. We have
Yeah,
kind of have to call
soccer,
it.
because they
Yeah,
have their American football.
yeah, yeah. So it just became easier just calling it soccer. Um, but yeah, so I had some good friends on that team like Bjorn and Blake and Sweeter, those guys. Who else was there? Yeah, Kevin, obviously, another Norwegian,
Yeah,
who'd been there. Yeah, who was your
since the beginning.
yeah,
Episode number 1, if you want to listen to Kevin.
yeah, such a good episode. So yeah, Kevin, and yeah, he joined me and Michael and Stian in the gym as well for a bit. Was a big strong man himself as well.
Well, you guys used to love working out.
I mean, yeah, I love working out, lifting weights.
What did you
And
think of like all the facilities that you had, like the gym, the Elmen Center?
yeah, the Elmen Center was good. Yeah, because you had this gym that was you didn't have to pay to work out there, just be a part of the school
So
and
you're just in there 24/7.
yeah, just live there. Nah, and yeah, there used to be a lot of people there, but yeah, the vibes were so good. Like you could talk to anyone that was there and just have a good time, talk to other people, and yeah, yeah. So I loved being at Elmen, and yeah, there was a pool as well, so you could go swimming afterwards. You can go hit the sauna. Lots of options.
So we've talked a lot about. I mean, it's seemingly a lot of your experience has been really positive at Augustana, but were there any low moments or very difficult times that you faced while you were there?
Honestly, nah. I felt like I loved every part of it. Not that I can remember
You
anyway.
didn't feel homesick at all or any language barrier issues?
Of course, communicating in English all day. It gets a bit. Um, I think I got like a bit mentally tired from it, and I can feel that now living in Australia. I have to speak English all day, every day. I think yeah, it gets a bit more tiring than being able to speak in my native language. But yeah, that's a fun challenge actually. Yeah, and obviously in Augustana, I had a lot of Norwegians around me, so we'd speak almost more Norwegian than English, I think.
And well, you went home for a little while over that January period, didn't you?
Yeah, I went home for Christmas. I stayed home for 2 or 3 weeks before traveling back to the US. And obviously, when I came back after Christmas, all the other Norwegians that I've made friends with, they were done. They went home. So like I lost my best friends over there, and yeah, that just made me, you, and Max hang out more. Um, that's when we decided to, because you did snowboarding for J term.
Yeah, Max and I learnt to snowboard, which is actually a class that they teach at
Yeah,
Augustana. You can go to the local hill, even though it's not crazy, it's just a small little slope. But Max and I learnt to snowboard, and we were kind of thinking, oh, spring break's coming up, we should do a fun trip. So I think
yeah.
we were originally trying to get, I don't know, 10, 12 people or so to go snowboarding somewhere in like, I don't know, big vans or whatever. We wanted it to be a really good thing, but I think it ended up just being you, me, and Max.
Yeah, yeah, and we had a great time. So you guys learned how to snowboard in January.
And you were a big skier already.
Yeah, I'd skied a lot back in the day, back home. But I'd never really been snowboarding. So you guys took me to, was it Great Bear?
Great Bear,
Great
yeah.
Bear, yeah. And yeah, I tried snowboarding, and at first I remember I sucked. Like I'd fall over in the bunny hill. Yeah, I was finding my feet kind of quickly, so we decided, yeah, we should go on a proper snowboarding trip. So we ended up going to Montana for spring break. So we just rented a car.
Henry the
Hearse.
Henry the Hearse.
Yeah.
Big Ford station wagon. But Henry did it. Was it Henry or did we?
I think we called him Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, Henry.
Henry the Hearse.
And we just gunned it. I think that drive was maybe 11, 12 hours. I think.
Yeah, it was a long drive.
Yeah.
And
we pulled up to Bozeman, Montana in the evening. We couldn't really see anything because it was dark, but we could sense that the mountains were all around us. And then we pulled into a little Airbnb, which we didn't realize was actually shared with the people who lived there.
Yeah.
We were actually only just got a room, not the whole house.
Yeah, so we thought that we were going to have the whole house to ourselves. Yeah, then we got there and we walked in and they were like, hello. And we had no idea. But yeah, we got a bedroom because we'd be spending the day in the slopes anyway. So it was fine. Apart from the fact that we weren't allowed to use the kitchen other than the microwave because we had like brought in bacon and eggs. We're gonna cook ourselves a mean lunch.
Yeah, I think we got one of the worst reviews,
Yeah.
Airbnb reviews, because like, oh, they did this in the kitchen, and it's like, well, we actually didn't. We cooked our eggs in the microwave because we knew we couldn't use the pans and stuff.
Yeah, and in the
they still accused us of doing that.
Accused us of using their oven and stuff. Bastards.
That was pretty funny. But how was the snowboarding in Montana?
Oh, the snowboarding in Montana was so much fun. You had this big mountain, lots of powder snow, and I was still not very good at snowboarding, so I'd fall.
None of us were.
None of us were. So yeah, I'd fall over so much. I remember because we were snowboarding for 4 days, and while driving back after those days, like I was barely able to lift my arm because I'd used my right arm to push myself up after falling over. And I was just like, I was hurting so much. I was in so much pain.
Well, we were just sending it as hard as we could because, like, well, we don't have much money. We're going to just go and do this trip and make the most of it. So that's why we did 4 consecutive days, which, wouldn't do that now. I think even after two days is, you're completely buggered after that.
Yeah.
But I remember that one of the first runs we did, I think we did a quick little up the chair, first little lap, and then we're like, right, we're going to the top. And I think the weather was actually quite nice down the bottom, but when we got up to the top, it was all foggy. We couldn't see anything. And we're like, oh, look at those icy little moguls over there. That's what the pros do, don't they? So we're going to hit that.
And there was like sign that said experienced riders only. We were like, yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah, we've got a couple of days under the belt now.
Yeah, and I think, did I catch your face a little bit?
You clocked me in the face with your snowboard. Which, because I'd tumbled over and then I just look up the hill and then I just see the snowboard coming black. And I was checking my face. I was like, is my jaw broken? Is it in pieces or is it okay? But thankfully it was all right.
Yeah.
And we just carried on. But
yeah, that was a bad idea going up there.
I think that was a bit of a reality check for us and we took it a little bit easier from then on.
Yeah, definitely.
But I also took my camera for that trip, so there's a full video of that. I'll also link that down below.
Yeah.
And again, it just sort of brings up all those good memories that we had. And funny looking back now, like we were so bad at snowboarding. We've just spent in Australia the last sort of season. Every couple of weekends, we've done a few trips down there, and we're so much better now. But it's funny that we made this like epic video
Yeah.
about when we're just, getting a little bit of air
Yeah.
off the ground.
Yeah, we'd get like little bits of air and just like, whoa, that was sick. But then saw the video and that was alright.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times. Was there anything in that sort of second semester after, you've lost Michael and Stian and the other Norwegians? Was there any other highlights or anything that stands out during that semester?
Yeah, so I joined the track and field team.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, that semester. Because I used to do shotput back home. I had stopped for like 5 or 6 years before going to Augie. I like retired when I was 19, and I was like 25 or something when I was in the US. And one of my teachers was a coach on the track team. So I just asked him, "Hey, is there any chance I can try it for the track team? I'm thinking of doing a bit of shot put again." He was like, "Yeah, come down for a practice and we'll try it out." And yeah, I absolutely love doing shot put again. So I signed up for like a track and field meet in December before Christmas break, and I did fairly decent. Yeah,
Probably threw twice as far as everyone else.
nah, nah, it wasn't that good.
I think you were third best in Norway, though.
Yeah, I got a bronze medal from the Norwegian National Championships.
There you go. How amazing is that?
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But what were those meets like?
In either Augie
Yeah.
or in the US, they were so much bigger than what I'm used to from back home.
Yeah, right. I'm sure.
Because some of them, there were like 20, 30, 40 people competing in shot put. And I was used to like competing with 8 or 10 people. And yeah, so it's just so much bigger and so many more people. But that was a lot of fun.
And did you show them up? Did you prove yourself that Norwegians are big and strong?
Yeah, I feel like I did all right. Made it to the final in the regional competition. Scored the 1 whole point for my team.
That's
For
amazing.
my school, yeah. And yeah, just
getting the point for the team.
show up, get 1 point, head back home.
Yeah, that's me, guys. I'm done. Yeah, that seems like a really cool experience. And actually, as you bring that up, I remember Michael and Stian. I don't know if it was you as well, but those two really wanted to play in the American football team. They're just like, "Oh, just coach, please let us just get out there and grab a ball once and just try and run to the end zone." But that never went through because NCAA has its all different rules and stuff. And I'm surprised that you were actually able to do that. I think maybe because you were there a little bit longer.
Yeah. So it took a long time to be able to join the track team, like officially, because of the NCAA stuff. So I started the joining process in early January. I think I only got to join the team like mid-February or something. So I think I got two competitions in an Augie church before obviously COVID hit and I had to go home again.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great that you got that experience in because college sport is so massive as you've just described. It's on a whole different level because it's just everywhere and there's just the sheer volume of the amount of people doing it. And I guess it sort of makes you realize how America is so good at sports just because there's so many people that are competing.
Yeah.
And naturally there'll just be more competition and just better quality because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the track and field team at Augie, I think, consisted of over 70 people, like with the field events and the cross runners.
Which is a lot.
That's
for
an insane amount.
Reasonably small school.
Yeah. It's so good because, you got everyone backing each other, cheering for each other, and just pushing each other at practice, which is huge.
Yeah, it really creates that winning environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that's really good. What if you could give your time at Augie a letter grade, what would you give it?
Yeah, there's no chance it being anything else but an A. Definitely.
A plus?
A plus, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved my time at Augie. And not because of like the school itself or the place itself, but because of all the people I got to meet. over there.
Yeah, and has your degree served you as you've finished off? Were you able to? Did you actually graduate that year of 2020, or did you have to do some more just to tie off your degree back in Norway?
I had to do my practicum because I didn't get all my hours in schools at Ogi because of COVID. So I
Right.
had to do that after I got home.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
sad that we had to part ways, and that was
yeah,
after we actually found out the news about COVID while we were in Montana.
yeah, yeah. And our first thought was like, oh, we get an extra week of spring break. Head to Jamaica.
Jamaica was on
Yeah.
the cards. We really wanted to go. And thank goodness we didn't, because we'd
Yeah.
probably still be there today
Yeah.
trying to get out.
Yeah, we'd be full blown Jamaicans by now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So what happened once you went home? Because we kind of, lost touch a little bit over
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, so the first 2 week I had to spend 2 weeks in isolation at my parents' like loft apartment. So I spent 2 weeks there alone. But after those 2 weeks, then I started working at a nursing home for the summer. Um, kept doing my track and field. Kept joined the local team back home that I was a part of before, and started that fall. I started working as a teacher next to my because I was doing one more year of studies of school, but then I worked as a teacher at the same time. So I was sort of doing both at the same time there.
So did you have a few more classes to finish off, or was that?
So I had to finish off a few classes from Augie from back home. But then I did one more year at my Norwegian university.
Right.
That's just to make more money as a teacher. Because when you do the extra year, your pay bumps a bit. You get a bit of a pay rise.
Yeah, which is always good.
Yeah,
Can't complain about that. So what was your official degree then that you finished with?
Do
you know?
I was
after all that hard work.
After all
many
that hard
years
work
of studying.
Yeah, so teacher for grades 1 through 7 was my degree, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a bit of a different name in Norwegian, but that's basically it.
Basically what it is.
Yeah.
And then you did some teaching after that.
Yeah. So I started teaching in 2020 and did that for 3 years. Yeah, before packing my bag and coming down here.
Yeah. And so we mentioned it at the start, but do you want to sort of rehash how that whole thing came to be? Because it's pretty crazy that you've just packed up your life and now you're in Australia and we're sitting face to face.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy actually. So I was talking to Max on the phone back in February or March, I think. And we were just talking about everything. Just catch up basically. And then he said, you should just come work here in Sydney, bro. I was like, yeah, sounds awesome. And he was like, yeah, really? Yeah,
I was just joking, but...
I was just joking, but I'll check with my boss and... because we actually need a guy. So I got an email from our boss, Andy, the next day. Hey, would you be up for a little chat someday about, an opportunity down here in Australia? Like, yep, I'd love that actually. I had a couple of chats with Andy. And they wanted me to join the team, and I packed my bags and headed on down.
Yeah, which I still find crazy that all happened, and it just started off as a bit of a joke too.
Yeah.
But now you're here, and you're working, right alongside Max as well.
Yeah.
In the same company, doing the same thing, really.
Yeah, basically. So we sell interactive touchscreens to schools and businesses and basically whoever wants them, which is a fun job because I get to travel around a bit, meet heaps of new people, and
I think obviously sales is a bit different to teaching, but this role is actually, I mean, what made you a good applicant was the fact that you actually had some school experience and you'd used some touchscreens back home. So you really had the understanding of how they're used in the classroom.
Yeah.
Which does make it, a lot easier when you're trying to communicate that to teachers on like how it can actually be used. Obviously, with a bit of extra training, bang, away you go.
Yeah, definitely helps having that first-hand experience. And yeah, as a former teacher myself, I know that you don't really want to listen to this sales guy coming in and telling you how to do stuff. But when they hear that, oh, you've been a teacher before, that yeah carries some weight in this profession.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And how have you found adjusting to Australian life?
Oh, there's a huge difference because Sydney has what 5 million people ish,
Yeah,
and
probably
my,
more, I think, but
probably
yeah,
more.
a
Yeah,
lot.
and my hometown Namsels has 12,000 people. So yeah, there's just so many more people, and the traffic, like,
It's disgusting.
yeah, it's disgusting. Everyone just like beeps their horns if you take 2 extra seconds to get out of an intersection, or there's just so many cars. Takes so long to get everywhere. Um, but at the same time, I absolutely love being in a bigger city because you got everything here. Like just last night, we went to a trampoline park, uh, and you got the big city, Sydney, just yeah, half an hour away, and it's just so cool being somewhere completely new.
Well, that's great to hear. And I mean, I've really enjoyed our time together. We've actually met up primarily at the snow, which is kind of funny. I think I actually have a photo of us replicating the photo that we took on the chairlifts in Montana, and then
Yeah,
the chairlifts at Perisher in Australia. And it was pretty cool that you were willing to actually just, in amongst new job in a completely different sort of field in a new country, you're still just like, yeah, no, I want to go hang out with the boys and do some
yeah,
snowboarding.
yeah. I mean, you kind of just have to, because yeah, it's a bit scary moving to a new country, but yeah, I think the more you do, just the more stuff you engage yourself in, everything just starts to feel a bit more natural, and yeah, get into the steam of living in a new country. As so you kind of just have to get out there and do stuff. Yeah, with the boys and have fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even last night we were at the trampoline park
Yeah,
just because, 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, why not just go try some flips? And in preparation for probably next season, we're trying to
yeah,
get some backflips going on the snowboard, hopefully.
yeah. That'd be so awesome getting a backflip done on a snowboard. So yeah, that's the dream right there.
Because we were starting to hit a few of the bigger jumps
Yeah,
end of this season here in Australia, which compared to Montana, yeah, night and day. We've just improved so much.
yeah.
Which I don't know how you've improved that much because I spent a whole season at Hotham. Yeah, but you seem to be able to keep up with Max and I as well.
Yeah,
No
and that
worries.
was my so this winter, Australian winter, which is summer back
Summer for
home.
just
Yeah,
about every other part of the
yeah,
world.
yeah. That was my first time snowboarding since Montana, actually. So I just found my feet real quick, and I think, yeah, I don't know. Was just able to pick it up again.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this winter that we had, and we
yeah,
didn't know if it was going to work. But luckily, you guys had a few company vans, so we could
yeah,
just gun it down the highway, and I would fly in. Max would meet me at Canberra, or you'd meet me in Canberra, and we'd just have the van packed, and off we went. So yeah, definitely we've had some good times already
yeah,
in
yeah.
Australia.
And you had to, we had to sleep in the van one night as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I misbooked the accommodation,
Yeah,
so we just had to rug up in the back of the van. But we had all the sleeping gear with us.
yeah,
But it was very squishy because you had a screen
yeah.
as well in the
Screaming back
back,
there as well.
so there wasn't much room. Um, yeah, do you plan to stay in Australia for a little while?
Yeah, so my visa is up next July, but yeah, hopefully I'll be able to stay a bit longer than that. So a couple of years, 3 years.
All right, that
Yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, because I want to be able to experience as much as possible when I'm first here. And
Would you live here?
permanently,
Yeah,
I
the
kind
rest
of
of your
feel like
life.
right now I feel like at some point I want to move back home to Norway, to my family and friends back home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but give it 3 or so years here in Australia, and yeah,
yeah. You never know. Suddenly one day I might wake up just like, yeah, I want to stay. But at the moment, my plan is to go back home someday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Just gotta sell some interactive screens first.
And I'm quite impressed because you've already seen quite a bit of Australia. You've been down to Melbourne, visited me, Sydney, all in the snowfields. You've been up to Brisbane for a conference as well.
Yeah.
Were you up there by yourself?
Yeah, I was. So I've been allowed to travel a bit for work. So obviously down to Melbourne to our headquarters, meet all the guys there, meet you and your mom and your entire family almost.
Yeah.
For a birthday party.
That's right. Yeah, we went over to my uncle's for his 60th birthday, and it was your birthday as well on the same day.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got some cake and some good food. Yeah, it was just a good time. Then we've been going to the snow in Persia, spending all our money on lift passes. So expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive in Australia. It's actually stupid, but I mean, we had a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And then I got to go up to Brisbane for a sports conference, showing off our touchscreen up there. So I only got there Wednesday evening, I think. Then I had to do the conference on Thursday, and then just fly straight back down to Sydney again. So I didn't really get to see much, but
you've been there, you can tick it off.
Yeah.
Maybe go back and visit at some point.
Yeah, I've got some plans to travel a bit in Australia when I get some time off from work.
Well, so it's pretty clear, actually sitting down and having this conversation with you, that you are very much up for adventure and new experiences and to travel to new places as well.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to ask if there was any advice that you'd give to someone, international student traveling to the US for college. Is there any sort of advice that you would give them?
Yeah, don't be afraid to try out new experiences. Don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money to be able to travel somewhere and have some good experiences. Because it might cost a bit of money, but it's worth it.
Always worth it.
Always worth it.
Yeah. Stig, thank you for coming back to college with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful having a trip down memory lane.